morning.
Yeah. Who is this?
This is Miss Cici.
Cici.
She's very much so absorbed in the environment.
Yeah.
How's he doing?
Well, he was sick last week.
Oh,
I came home on Wednesday, and in the afternoon, he immediately asked to go out, and he had a bout of diarrhea. And then there were some thunderstorms, and he asked to go out again, like maybe 10 minutes later. And of course, it was raining. He hates the rain, so he came back in. But then he asked to go out again, and he had another bout of diarrhea. And then he threw up on his bed. And so I was like, all right, I got to call the vet. And we went in. He threw up 2 more times before we got to the vet's office. And then he tested negative for anything like parasites or anything like that. I think he just got into something he probably shouldn't have.
Oh.
And so he's been on a bland diet, and I've been having to force pills down his throat. He's not been very happy with me.
Have you tried the pill pockets?
Yeah, so this little guy, he eats around the pill and then spits the pill back out.
Oh, yeah, nice.
He is quite clever.
Oh, yeah. One of those that you have to pill.
Yeah. Like, he can't make anything easy on himself. I like the video you sent. I realized this morning that I never responded back, but like I shared it with my mom and some other people. I was like, look, you see that he's going around soccer balls now. Sort of.
It is possible. It's a little bit harder when people are kicking them around, of course, and everything. Yeah. But, you always have to have some sort of jumping point, and you have to always have some sort of end point, right? Mm-hmm. And so trying to hit that practice in between so you can kind of slide it over is going to be important.
And so we've been here before. We were here twice. So we were here in early spring, maybe like April.
Uh-huh.
And we just walking up on the trail. We were on the other side of this rock formation here. And we were just kind of playing in the trails back there one evening. We got off to work, and he was fine. He loved it. I was like, all right, cool. We got a new spot to go to. And then in May, came here a second time. Oh.
Yeah, she loves her squirrels. Let's go get it. You get it? Are you gonna get it? You gonna get it? Are you gonna get it? Where'd it go?
We were here in May on, I think it was a weekend, I think it was a Saturday, or maybe it might have been a midday like this. And we came in, there were a bunch of kids playing on the playground.
Oh, nice.
And we went down, there's a trail that runs along the creek there. We went along there and around the back, and he was just freaking out the entire time because all he kept hearing were the kids. Then eventually we came down and we sat right over there at that picnic table. I was trying to get him to just sit, relax, and just be still. And he was just like constantly begging and pulling to leave. He, just did not want to be here. So that was actually when I started reaching out to you guys.
Okay. Well, let's go over there since there's just a couple kids now. We'll walk around, try to get them situated. A big part of it too is just, especially with him, so that way we can actually work on him desensitizing and getting used to this area, is actually letting him kind of get some of that energy and excitement out until he's so worn out that he can't concentrate on leaving an area anymore. Right. He just has to kind of accept it to that point, right? And it can take quite a while, like you could tell last time with the soccer thing. But the main thing is to make sure that, we don't give up before he does. And as difficult as it can be, nobody has infinite energy. It might just take a really long time, but it's going to happen eventually, right?
And the other night, too.
It just depends on how high the anxiety is. It gives them almost superhuman strength and endurance because it's not within their control, right?
Yeah, he's on like an adrenaline rush.
Mm-hmm. Kind of.
The other night, we were walking on the path to my house, and behind the tree line is a basketball court, and he hates going by there because he hears the sound of the people playing basketball, and it freaks him out, and so he doesn't want to go by there. And so my dog walker, because when he puts up resistance, she just gives in and turns around and goes back the other way.
Yeah, you're telling me.
And so the other night, I was like, okay, well, I did the thing we practiced both with the soccer balls and with the sign downtown. Where I was like, okay, we walked by it.
Good job.
We went a little bit past, turned around, gave him a minute to sort of cool down, turned around, went back by it again, and we passed back and forth. We just kept going back and forth.
There you go.
By the sound until he was able to sort of calm down and just walk normally without doing this number to try to get away from, the strange sounds that he didn't understand and was afraid of.
Yeah, it's not too bad. And a big part of it, too, is being able to kind of work on these things at home.
Yeah.
Hooking up YouTube or having a smart TV, like Chromecast or something like that, or just have it built into the TV is a really good way of being able to control what you need to practice and how to start just desensitizing him at least to the sound. Because with dogs that are sensitive enough, just the reminder of those similar sounds will trigger some of those feelings of anxiety without kind of overdoing it, right? So being able to play kids on a playground on YouTube or something like that will make it so it resembles the situation, but not quite exactly, right? But it's an easier way to get him used to at least the sound of it and maybe a little bit of the visuals.
You're hearing no sounds, but in an environment that you trust. That's actually a good idea, because right now it's usually just like soft jazz playing or something, like I'll turn, because YouTube has those long, like 3-hour, music channels.
Yeah.
And so I'll just put on some like soft music sometimes, like during the day or in the weekends or whatever. And there's some like background noise in the house.
Yeah, I do a lot of like the city walks and ambient sounds like that.
Yeah.
Will really kind of help.
That is a really good idea. We're going to do that today.
There you go.
I'm working from home today, so after we get back, I'm going to put that on, and he's going to be subjected to the sounds of the playground all afternoon.
The trick is to just kind of start it low to the point where he can barely pay attention to it or recognize it, and then just slowly turn up the volume as either the days go by or the weeks go by, depending on how sensitive he is. You pretty much want to hit that point where he hears it and recognizes it, but it doesn't bother him, right? And then once you get to that point, then you just keep turning the volume up. That helps a lot. Things like fireworks before, played action movies, dogs that are afraid of gunfire.
Yeah. I'm still interested of what bothers him and what doesn't, because the garage door has never, from the first time we went in it it has absolutely no effect on him whatsoever. Whereas my ex-girlfriend's dog, she never got used to my garage door. Every time she would hear it, it would just freak her out.
Yeah, everybody's gonna have their perks.
For somebody who's so skittish, it amazes me how calm he can be when I'm using the garage door.
He's probably also had the opportunity to get used to the garage door being stationary and also opening it. Oh, okay.
From
at all.
The very first time we went through it, I thought, oh God, he's gonna go running back or whatever, and just no, he was fine from the beginning.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And same thing with traffic. I thought traffic would bother him. He comes out here on Route 3 and it has no effect on him whatsoever. So it's interesting to how
he just has to live in New York for a while.
Yeah.
Right? Just kind of be
a city dog.
Yeah, be in the middle of everything. You've been walking down the street, you're in the hustle and bustle of people and kids, being around Central Park, all those things. He just needs exposure / overexposure on a constant rate.
Yeah.
And that's hard for a lot of working people to do sometimes, to just be able to have the amount of volume that's necessary to kind of overcome the anxieties, right? Especially,
and also the opportunity, because you come here today and then there's nobody here, but
yeah. well, we can go by the water for him, and then we can uh, move it downtown. See how that playground is down by Brock's. That one's usually pretty busy.
Oh, you're talking about the riverfront one?
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, we walk here, so
Oh,
that was one reason why I chose this one. Is just because it's a nice. It's the opposite direction of how we usually go, and so it gives him a little change of pace.
gotcha.
And he's fine with it for the most part. Like walking here, he is a breeze. It's once you get closer and you start having more people involved,
Hmm.
that's where he starts to get a little bit more anxious. So is this one of your boards?
No, she used to be a trainee. She's
Okay.
she's just staying over for a little bit.
Okay, yeah. Kind of the way Knox was last time.
Yeah. She used to be a lot more reactive to things. Some things she still has some problems with, like bicycles and big trucks and squirrels, obviously, but it's easier to redirect her when necessary. Right now, I'm just letting her kind of, chase squirrels and get some energy and excitement out and just kind
Yeah.
of enjoy being a dog.
Yeah.
Um,
Burn off some of that energy before. See, and then you see how he just like perked up as soon as he heard those ladies talking. Like,
yeah, let's go.
it's just interesting. It never really turns off for him.
You just have to make it something that he doesn't even have to kind of turn on in the first place because he gets so used to it. Oh, there's another puppy. We'll go on the trail, see if we can meet anybody. Trying to think of what else is nearby.
Yeah, if we keep heading off to the right. If we go up and we head to the right, that'll take us out towards Route 1. And then to the left, it's just back to those townhouses and more over to towards my place. The,
Let's go.
what do you smell, dude? What do you smell? Smell something.
Kids are all going back to school too, so now would
Yeah.
also be a really good time for places like the Gymboree after school, like in the late evenings and stuff like that. As well as weekends are going to be a lot heavier at the parks. So the things to kind of keep in mind and make adjustments for. Um, is at the Walmart in Central Park. There's that daycare area right next to it that's going to be really busy during the day too, so that could give you a daytime opportunity as well. So you're going to have all sorts of options based off of what time you're going to have available to work with him on those things. So you kind of have to make those adjustments and game plans accordingly, so that way you'll always have an opportunity, right, to present itself. Unlike right now, when we're kind of searching for something.
It's still interesting watching because he's
Just say hi.
just curious. He wants to go somewhere. I don't know what he's drawn to, but
Yeah, sometimes it's good to just kind of let him go,
yeah.
see what he does. Say hi.
Maybe not. No.
He thought about it.
If anything, he'll run away. If anything, he'll run away from you.
Hi, puppy.
Oh, good boy. That's a good boy. Where you going, Cici? Oh, where you going? So we got one more little one going to play.
On the one-on-ones, he's usually pretty good with his there's more of them, and they're screaming
Told
and
you,
running in all
Cici.
sorts of different directions. Like
Oh,
that's
I
what gives
know.
him- That's what gives him. I guess it's what
It'd be a good opportunity too, especially like going to a certain park consistently, kind of like the dog park, where you
Mm-hmm.
can start to actually interact with the parents and get to know them, and so you can kind of build that uh, that 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 trust in talking to them, and then being able to have Lefty there, like in the morning before their play group arrives, and then you can meet each child one at a time before they start running around and playing. So that'd be a good way to kind of transition, kind of like at the dog park when you go in before it's super busy, and then you kind of let him be introduced to each dog one at a time,
Mm-hmm.
and then before you know it, he's running around with like 20 or 30 of them. It'd be the same thing here. Start in the afternoon at like the old mill park at maybe like 3 or 4. When there's only like one or two, get used to them, and then have them all kind of pile in as he remains there for an extended period of time, maybe like 2 to 3 hours, until everybody's there after school and it's really busy and crazy loud. So it's
Let it
kind of
slowly
like
build up.
kind of like the same idea as the desensitizing with the TV. You start with the volume really low and really easy for him, like with one child, and then you just slowly increase the number of children. You know, kind of doing it in like a real life scenario, right? Uh, right.
Maybe if we hang a little bit more bull riding,
Yeah. So let's just
might be able
start
to
off.
get that slowly built up.
So just start off here and walking around. The main thing is to keep it as casual for him and let him get distracted as things as possible, but at the same time giving him those moments like that when he's checking it out, right? Taking a look at them and then going back to whatever the ground or other distractions are, and just kind of keep going back and forth between the two things.
Can Cici have treats?
Yeah.
Trying to get rid of these Crunchios that he won't eat.
I'm sure Cici will eat it. You might have to watch your finger though. You'll treat it like a bowl and you'll be okay.
Cici. Cici. Can you sit?
He's like, I'll come for a treat. Yeah, there you go.
Slow
Leftie's
yeah.
like, whoa.
Yeah, these are the things that you refuse to eat, dude.
Maybe if somebody else wants it, he'll want it too again. There you go. See? Nope.
No. Alright, Cici gets them. Why? If Miss Connie gives them to him, he loves them. When I give it to him, yeah, he doesn't want them. Same one, pot roast. Doesn't matter.
Oh.
Yeah. So I guess I'm just not Miss Connie.
Sometimes it's the delivery system, kind of like when you make it into an airplane.
Yeah. So. I wish I'm so envious of dogs that eat treats like that. Like, because I know how to. I know, but like the trainers that we've worked with in the past, it was always using food as a motivating tool. And so with that, it's like all the techniques that they were teaching us work as long as the dog wants the food.
Right.
If they have absolutely no interest in it whatsoever, well, what are you gonna do?
Just find something that they're interested in.
I've been like toys. He doesn't care. Like it just I unless it's something the cat is playing with.
There you go.
That's about the only thing. And I think that's just because they have it and he wants it.
A lot of cars coming by. Maybe people are on the trails.
I think on the trails and that like maybe we walk the path a little bit with people on, because you said she has bike anxiety, right?
Mhm.
Because he does better with bikes, because we see so many bikes in the trail, so it might be, maybe he can be the stabilizing force for one, maybe not.
Oh no, she'll like, completely ignore whatever he's
Oh,
doing.
really?
Huh?
Sorry, buddy, I was trying to give you a win.
But it's good that he's not interested. It's just
Well, he was.
anything moving.
It was the thing that he used to get freaked out whenever we would pass us with bikes
Oh,
or
nice.
scooters or whatever. There was a couple in the neighborhood for a while that was riding these electronic scooters, and he would just be terrified whenever he sees them. And now he's much more relaxed. He drives by us all the time, and every once in a while he still wants to kind of like go after him, but for the most part he just continues to walk.
All right. Well, let's go that way then. We'll see what they got. Like I said, at least it shows promise that he has in the past been able to get used to things. You know.
He does. It's just the one thing that that we struggle with is, yeah, any kind of screaming, loud noises. I shouldn't say loud noises, but like just the sound of people talking, um, cheering, screaming.
Yeah. Just also
Crowds,
sports.
I guess. Crowds bother him.
Having sports on will be good for him too. Then,
Ooh.
not just city
Crowd
ambience and
noise.
things.
Yeah.
Crowd noise, as well as like the soccer ball being kicked around. Most dogs don't pay attention to the visuals of the TV. Some dogs do though. Some dogs are really sensitive to it, but most dogs I find they don't really care what's actually on the screen itself. It's more so the sound.
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of the way it is.
But that might be good for him, right?
Yeah,
It's a good way.
Kind of the way it is in life is when we're walking. So like when we were walking, what's the high school downtown or the big field?
No idea.
Anyways, there was like a lacrosse game or something one night, like a Friday night, and we were, several blocks. We were like, half a mile away, but you could hear him, and that was freaking him out. Like there was nothing going on anywhere near us, but it was the same behavior that we had at Old Mill, where he's just yanking all over the place, and just because he hears it, he doesn't know what it is.
Yeah, so definitely getting him used to hearing something, especially in like sometimes a safe zone, can really help for a pup, because there's then at that point like no real place for him to kind of escape to, right? So it helps with that. Helps with his inability to run away from something, because there's no clear direction of where to run to, or like where to run from.
Oh, he'll probably just run up into the spare bedroom. That's his safe spot.
Yeah, in which case I would just either keep him with you, or have him in a crate.
We have he won't go in a crate.
Oh.
So, but I do have a baby gate that is shut, so he can't go there, but he can stay in the living room area.
Gotcha. The crate trained dogs, I just put the food near it, and then eventually I put it in the crate.
He's been eating the food in his crate forever. Like that's the only place I've ever fed him. But so last October, so he used to spend his days in the crate while I was at work. And then last October, it was one of my yoga training weekends. My dog walker was supposed to come and let him out, and for his like daily walk. And then she forgot. So he was in there for like 9 hours when he was only about maybe like 6-7 months old. And ever since then, I've not been able to get him to go back in there.
You just have him go back in casually when you're there for short periods at a time, and then eventually lengthen the periods.
He physically won't go in there. Like, so like even with his food, I moved it all the way to the back of the crate, and he will stretch. His hind legs will always stay out. Like he will stretch himself all the way in and only eat what he can get to. He won't actually go in for the food or for treats. I put treats
What
all
do
the
you
way
think?
back. Are
you afraid of the lions? Come here, hush. Come on, they're not real.
I put his toys in there.
It's okay. I know, right? So what I would do is
put his toys in there, and he won't go.
right? So what I would do is just use like a soccer ball and have the only safe space that soccer ball can't go in is his crate. So you use one fear to overcome another one. Be the easiest way to do it because they can only concentrate on the scariest thing at a time. So whatever is scarier will end up winning, right? What do you think, Cici? What do you think? We're gonna move real quick. And so
Can you
this,
drive out here? I guess you can.
I guess they have to. It's a driveway. And so we'll do the same thing we do with Cici with him and like you know, anything that he's afraid of, right? Just kind of casually going back and forth again until she ends up recognizing that there's nothing to be afraid of, right? Go ahead and walk him. Go ahead and walk him close to it and try to touch it as well.
You don't trust it.
Nope. And the thing is, too, with this kind of fear, the way the dogs are able to adjust and get used to and comfortable with new things is by being able to investigate and smell them, right? If so long as she stays at distance, she'll never be able to get comfortable with it, right? And so that's the thing that you have to really kind of work on is going back and forth, you know, and allowing her the time to see something as casual. Come on.
Okay. Go over here and look at the other lion. That's a
Good girl. Come on, come on. It's okay. Come on. There you go. Good girl. Right? So she's kind of ping-ponging between the two, which makes it even more difficult, right? Because she was moving away from one and then recognized that she was going towards another. Good girl. Come on. Come on. It's okay. Come on. Come on, Cici. Good girl. It's okay. It's okay. Look. Come on. Good girl. There you go. Good girl.
Leftie, she overcame her fears. You can overcome yours.
Good girl. There you go. That's a good girl. There you go. And now she's a lot closer, right? And still a little unsure, but not like freaking out and running away. Now she's trying to use her nose, right? To investigate. And the moment will come when she actually gets close enough to smell and then recognize that it smells like stone. Then the fear will subside, right? Until then, that apprehension stays there. And it's the same with him, right? Until we can get him to that point where he can investigate and feel comfortable around something new, he's always gonna be uncomfortable. It's pretty cool looking, huh? What do you think? Oh, that's a good girl. That's a good girl. See? See?
Leftie's confused. He's like, I think I'm supposed to be scared of something.
There you
but I don't
go.
know what.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, you tell it. You tell it. You tell it. Huh? You tell it. Yeah. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Good thing I put on that bug spray.
But it's interesting too, by just looking at her behavior, that her tail is wagging, so she's not. Whereas like his is like tucked up underneath.
There we go. Good girl. There you go. Good girl. Excitement, right? She's also got that adrenaline going from fear too. Good girl. And now that she's gotten a chance to smell it, there you go. And we're good. Yeah, it took like 5 minutes. Oh my God, mosquitoes.
Yeah, they're bad right now.
Okay.
When we go out just for like short walks, I get tore up.
You want some bug spray? I got some in the car.
Oh, no, I'm good. I'm used to it by now. I used to live with it.
Probably not for the best because they can carry disease.
Yeah. That's why I was telling him to stop eating crickets.
I would be extremely annoyed if I work with aggressive dogs and I get taken out by a mosquito bite. Like, nope, not gonna happen. Sorry, fate. We're not going out that way.
That's also, I didn't know that until last summer. And I read the thing on heartworms. That's also how dogs get heartworms is from mosquito bites.
There's a bunch of different ways, but yeah. That's why the flea and tick stuff is really important.
Yeah, then he's got. That's what the vet was saying. They're like, as long as we're pretty consistent with his meds. He fights me on those too. He doesn't like chewing up that tablet. But
have you tried just the topical stuff or the collar?
Well, we have the
collar works really well too.
Right now, the one we have is it's the 2-in-1. It's the heartworm and the flea and tick.
Oh, fancy.
And like a nice chewable tablet. Yeah, and so it's like once a month he's supposed to get it, and I put it in his food, but he just.
And at least it goes well with his stomach.
What's that?
At least it works well with his stomach. I know some dogs it doesn't go too well and they have to have the topical stuff.
Is that a fear poop, my dude? Hold up. I gotta tie this on.
Here, we'll go back that way so you can use the trash can. We can give them a water break. Is there another one over there?
I mean, I got a little hook here. It'll, I mean, we walk like. Dude. Calm down. You're yanking my wrist off. Hold on. Sit. Leftie, heel. Right. Now, hook this in there. All right. Let's go. There we go.
Yeah, with some pups before, what I would do is either have like the rollerblades or my skateboard, usually rollerblades because it's easier to stop. But if they wanted to pull, I would just let them until they just couldn't anymore and they got too tired. It actually worked out really well, especially like up hills, where they just stop because it's too difficult, right? And they just get tired. Most of the time, because right now he's used to this level of force. But if you tied on like a 20 or 30 pound, 50 pound sled, then he would probably be more reluctant to kind of continue on and kind of just try to stop and try to figure out what's going on. Kind of like when we hard stop again, and it kind of forces that recognition, right? Kind of like there. The same with Cici too. But sometimes, like I said, especially when we're trying to actually get them to get some of that energy out, especially for anxiety cases, it can be helpful. Not always the best, because you can't really work on that end. Good. Leash, hi, how you doing? You want to say hi? Oh, hello, you want to say hi? She's so excited. Cici's like, bye. Hi. Beautiful. Yeah, Cici's pretty neutral when it comes to some pups. So, like, sometimes she'll play, sometimes she's like, nah, I'm good. She'll, like, go for the greeting, and then that's it.
Leftie wants to love everybody's face.
Hello.
Unless the dog is mean to him, he's going to basically just be that dog's best friend.
Oh, well, that's good. We'll try to get this tripod set up so we can actually get some water going here. There we go. Hi. the only other bad part about this thing.
Be calm.
There you go.
Wait your turn. There you go.
Cici.
That's surprising because he's so picky about water.
Oh yeah, he's thirsty.
Well, I said too, he doesn't drink until it's time to drink all of it. You know, like he drinks, like I have like the fountain at home, and the cats, you know, he and the cats drink out of there, but like, they sort of go over there, they take a few sips at a time, you know, and then, but not him. He just waits until he's just completely thirsty, and then he goes and he just slurps down like, you know, half the fountain.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Yeah, so he doesn't. I've been trying to get him to work in sips. He's so picky about his water. Like I said, like if it's at the dog park, he oftentimes will just ignore the water until he absolutely has to. Same thing as a water fountain in the house. So we'll go out on long walks and take some water like halfway through. And if I kind of just hold him there long enough, he might take a sip, but generally he ignores it. Knows about it. You want all your water at once.
I actually walk a dog that is anxious with water as well, and even after long, hot midday walks, what they'll do is they'll wait until mom gets back home and then drink.
Interesting.
This one will go to the water bowl, and all the other dogs go to the water bowl right away. But that one will go in and not drink until mom gets back home, and then no matter how long we're out. So it's something that, with that kind of anxiety, you also want to be aware of for their health, right?
Yep.
Because even though he's not drinking, doesn't mean that he's not getting dehydrated.
Or that's when he had his diarrhea and his upset stomach last week, though. That was the dehydration was also a concern.
Yeah, you have to be careful with that. There's a little one. Come here, Cici. Good girl. Come here. Good girl. Good listener. Hi. So what we could try to do now is kind of double back to see if there are any more kids that have built up at the park.
Yeah, we've had enough time to sort of calm. I mean, I know he's still like heightened, but he's not.
And what I'll do
curiosity than
is
fear.
I'll trade you leashes. Come on, Cici. Good girl. If you want to go ahead and disconnect his and put it on hers, and then we'll put hers on his, and I'll hold on to him. We'll let him kind of run out more of the longer leads, see how he does on it.
Alright, get a slip swap here.
So just clip yours onto Cici's first. There you go.
That way.
There you go.
Yeah, because she's going to take off.
Mhm.
She's going to
rip
my wrist off. Cici, come.
She's not quite as bad, especially if you have treats.
Yeah.
So have those ready for you, and it'll be a lot easier, right?
Follow me.
Whereas now he has to kind of check back in with his comfort system a little bit more, and also not pull as much because he just runs out of leash, right? So like right now he would have been under tension the entire time, but he's under no tension, right? And sometimes that's all it takes for a pup. We'll do like a little evaluation, and some puppies, for example, they'll go a certain distance, but then they'll want to stay close to their owners and check back or not kind of carry on too far. Whereas like right there, right, you need a little bit of attention for a boundary and then that's it. Now we're back to no attention. So same with like Cici, right? Because now we can control the tension a little bit more, it's a little bit more impactful because it's not always there because we just run out. We just literally, the only problem is you run out of leash space.
Now, has she always, or is she more familiar with that kind of retractable leash?
No, she usually walks with an easy walk harness and her bungee cord, and she walks really good. It's just also now because she's just pulling because she's just interested in the environment. That's all.
Well, I was just wondering because, like,
some dogs will do better with it,
yeah,
some dogs won't. But you can see it's not that he's doing any better or worse with it. It's literally just because he has more leash before he runs out. So there's just less tension before he gets to the next thing. Same with her. You know, she actually will go further just because she's more excited. He actually is doing better because he doesn't need to go further before he gets apprehensive, right? So this would actually benefit you a lot more just based off of the initial evaluation of behaviors, right? So you see. Good job.
The other trainers, both of the other trainers that we've been to were vehemently against retractable leashes. So I just had it in my head that this is not a good, tool for a dog.
That's, I guess, the perks of me, just because I have to work with so many different kind of dogs. Some with disabilities, some with anxieties. So I can't just be like, oh, I can't use this tool. I can't use this tool. You have to have an open mind to be able to adapt to different dogs. A lot of times people will be so regimented and structured because they found out a way that works and they just kept with it, right? And they kind of disavowed all other things. Whereas this, it was working for him. This is great for me, right?
That's actually, it's an interesting way of, the way you put that is because that is kind of, with the other training, it was very regimented. It was like, this is sort of how we'll do it, and anything against this, we're not gonna we're either gonna like poo it, or we're just like not gonna deal with it, when people bring it up. And so it was like, you're gonna do it kind of like this way, which was very interesting because I think that's also why like a lot of it wasn't working for him. And so that's also why I was struggling.
Because he also falls so far outside of like a normal dog case, quote unquote, right? Because I'm used to living outside the normal, I'm used to having to figure out what specifically works for a dog as opposed to having a set of rules and guidelines and just adhering to them.
Yeah, because like even like, so you can see the knots in this thing. That was the trainer last summer. She tied those knots and she was like, you will keep your hand here, like kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And which was great, except that it didn't really help. It didn't like solve the
problem. Boy, come on.
It didn't make his leash walking any better.
Here, I'll trade you now.
Okay.
And now you'll be able to kind of see what it's like to not have him under tension so much.
And then how does this actually work? You just push it down?
Yeah, just push it down when you need to make a temporary boundary so he doesn't get tangled up in anything or go the wrong way. Hi, how you doing?
Hi, boy.
Hi. Oh, good boy.
Well, hi.
Go say hi. Go say hi.
Are you going to say hi?
Oh, good job. Look at that. He's like, I touched face.
That's about all we get. That's,
I just need a sniff. I love your eyes.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, I've got to take this stuff. This way. Cici. No. Oh. And there we go. Okay. Well, at least we got a couple more kids, or one loud kid, it sounds like. Oh, the grill smells good too. It's gonna be lunchtime soon, bud.
Yeah. Smells good.
Sometimes that could also be a really good distractant for pups too.
With food smells and stuff.
Mm.
Yeah. Let's go over to the playground. So now this is where it's gonna get interesting to see how
Yeah, just kind of walk there casually and walk through, just like we did before. Might be good to give him an opportunity to see how far he goes, but you kind of see how, like, less tension you've been under with him the whole time. And he's just kind of still following you, which is really good. Now, this time, you know, practice too, just recalling him without the tension, and
Right.
that'll help to
we were doing that.
develop that.
Leftie, come.
He's like, what is that? Is it a squirrel?
Oh,
Oh, there's
white.
two of them.
Squirrel battle.
Oh, what do you think, Cici? What do you think? Yeah, but he's still going forward, so that's good. Very good. There you go. Good. All right. So letting him get used to that sound.
I'm trying to figure out how this works, but
Very good. There you go. Good. That was good too. See how it's actually going towards it. Where you going, Miss Cici? You going to say hi? Hi. Good. And just kind of keep walking back and forth along the playground.
go over here. Come on. Like a lizard.
Yeah, a little salamander. Did you get it, Cici? Did you get it? Nope, it got away. He's like, did it get away? It got away. She's just gonna wait for it now, I feel like. There you go. That's good too. Good job. There you go. So now he's kind of taking advantage of like the space and also the environment. There you go. Come on, Cici. kind of see how you're now able to use leash pressure a little bit more tactfully because you have that extra space, right? As opposed to it just constantly like running out on you
Yep.
and creating that tension just by itself. So there's pros and cons to everything. I wouldn't, of course, use it downtown or anything like that,
Right.
but in
Yeah, where you want a little bit more control, but like someplace like this is actually really nice.
being able to let him run around a little bit too without constantly pulling tension on you and relieving some of that unnecessary stress, letting him get out some of that energy. All right, let's go. Good job. He actually does check in with you and doesn't just run straight off too, which is also surprising, right? But it's good to see, right?
Well, we do that. So like at the dog park, that was when so we worked on that. So I have a long leash. I have
That's
like
good.
what is it? A 15-foot, whatever, you know. And there's that little trail behind my house.
Come
And
on,
so
Cici.
we would go on there and practice his recall. So I would let him go out the length of the leash and call him back. So that's how we practice our recall. And so when we go to the dog park, I take him.
Oh, look at that. It's an RC
I
car.
put him. He goes off his leash and he does it. He runs up ahead, he sniffs things, then he looks back to make sure that I'm still coming. And if I'm not coming, he wants to come find out why.
Look at that. What is that, bud? That was good, right? Interested, but not too interested, and then just being ready to lock it. No, he's doing good. He's actually pretty curious. No, he's doing great. Look at that. That's a cool one, too. I've got a fast one, but it's I got to replace a tire on it. Look at that.
So yeah, we go, like I said, once I knew that his recall was good, that's when I realized, or I felt more comfortable letting him run off leash at the dog park because then I didn't need to supervise him. Although there have been some times where
It's
one
always
time
so
he
good
got
to
out of the
supervise
fence,
him.
I didn't realize. I looked and I was like, oh wait, how did you end up over there? So he does get a little rambunctious, but he was wanting to get back to me, so.
Well, that's good at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely still checks in because you are a bit of like that comfort safety zone for him. It's just when the anxiety is too much, it overrides that too, that you have to just be mindful of. But no, you did really good on the long lead. I'll let you swap it back over because we got to get going, but hopefully you can hang out for a while longer and hopefully it'll get a little bit busier.
We are, and this is actually, I like the YouTube idea. We're going to go home and we're going to try that this afternoon. And then, Cici, can you come here?
Good girl.
Good girl. Sit. Leftie, sit. Sit. Wait. Oh, sorry. Him I trust more than... Leftie, calm down. Oh my God, this is a mess. All right, I got it. You can let go of the... There we go. All right. We had a little bit of a mess there. I'm not good at that.
It's okay. Next time I'll do it for you because I do it all the time.
I'm not good at the swapping the two.
Keeping a handle on one. It's fine. Do you have any questions? At least we've got to go through a couple things this time. You got to see Cici work through a fear, and it's the same process.
It was nice that it wasn't him for once. That was actually really...
And then
we might hang out. It seems like there's a lot more kids showing up, so we might.
Yeah, it'll be good.
We might hang out here and just kind of walk around and let them get acclimated.
And you can see that the retractable leash isn't the bane of training tools for dogs.
No. Yeah, like I said, like the trainers we've had were very like don't ever use those. Only use like these kinds of leashes. Even when I picked them up, when I got them from the Humane Society, they said you're not allowed to pick them up without. A solid, like you weren't allowed to pick them up with a retractable
A lot of times these will cause injuries to people too because of the rope burn, and people freak out and don't know
Yeah.
how to stop it and pull it back
Yeah.
in, and then like they get tangled up and things.
And
Well,
when
you
he
have
was
to be
young-
very mindful.
When he was younger, I could definitely see that. Now that we've had some experience walking or whatever, this could actually be really good for, like you said, like this kind of situation. Maybe not downtown, or maybe not someplace where I need a little bit more
Yeah.
control, but
That was good.
definitely like a nice little casual park. Oh, there's a yellow jacket.
All
Don't
right.
get stung, my dude.
Well, good luck to you guys.
Thank you.